everybody. So today I'm going to be showing you how to set up the ScoutGuard SG550 trail camera. So let's get into it and we'll show you how to set this camera up. Okay, the first step in setting this camera up, you have to open the bottom and put the batteries in. You push that forward and then this flips up. It is a little bit tricky to get this to flip open. Now, when you look inside here, everything looks identical, but how you know which way the battery goes is on this lid. There's a plus right there and a minus here. So that's how you know which direction the batteries go. This particular model takes 4 batteries. Some do take 8. Alright, now the SD card is in here. I always affix a little piece of these tab markers that students use to mark places in their textbooks and whatnot just to the card, because these are very difficult to get your fingers in there if you got fat fingers like mine. And the next thing we're going to want to do is the setup remote control, which has the output display. You can see the pictures on this. This is how you're going to set your camera up. Now, if for some reason you lose this, you can just turn the camera on and it will default back to its factory settings and still take pictures. But to be able to customize your setup, you're going to need to plug this in. The remote does not take any batteries itself. It simply runs off the camera batteries. And so the next thing we're going to do here, close the batteries up, and we will plug in the remote. Okay, you'll notice that when we plug this in, the camera is in the off selection, so we'll just flip this to on. This switch is difficult to get into sometimes as well. And now what we can do is start to look at programming the camera. Okay, after you've put your batteries and your SD card in, the next thing you want to do is program your camera to your exact specifications. So if you hit menu, you'll first have the option of video or camera. If you click this over button, you can select between the two. I want it on video, then you just click OK. Now the next thing you do is you either push up or down. I suggest going down because the sequence of the programming will make a lot more sense if you go this way. Now formatting, if you need to format your SD card, you just click enter to format it and then format your card and clear off anything. I've already done that on this card, so I'm going to skip this step. And here I've just gone in. You can select yes or no, but I'm going to select no because, like I mentioned, we've already done this. Now the next piece is the image size. So you have a selection between the higher or lower resolution pictures. Once again, you just click over. You can pick 3 or 5. I always click or select the highest level that I can, just because I like good quality pictures and video. Video size, same thing. You can select the lower video size or the larger. Again, I always pick the larger because I want the best video I can get. Select down again and we go into the clock. So we'll enter this. Now here we've got the date and the time. I've already have set this up previously, so the date is fine. The time is pretty close. I do find that this camera does lose some time occasionally, especially if you've taken the batteries out or had to change them. But the date seems to be pretty good. Now I will just navigate through here. You can see, you just go up or down, move over, and I will reset the time here and just check what time that is. Okay. So here we have the time in hours, minutes, and seconds. And the one thing that I would recommend is just go through this. If you're not sure what format the date and the timestamps are, just scroll through it and see how many numbers there are in each, so you'll be able to quickly tell there's 12 months, etc. And that, I believe, is about it. Like I said, just play through these settings, get comfortable with them. Gone through most of these: clock, capture, the video length. Here you just push this over button to select the video to be longer or shorter, or sorry, longer. Once it hits 60 seconds, it will reset back to 1. So you can have a video up to 60 seconds. I'm going to leave this on the 30-second mode and experiment with that. I don't have a lot of experience with video on these trail cameras, but 30 seconds seems to be a decent duration. Okay, and I've got the interval set for 1 minute. So basically, after it takes a video, it will wait 1 minute before the camera triggers again to film the next video. This is probably even more important when you're using the picture mode. If you've got some attractant and a bunch of animals clicking or hanging around, you don't want your camera to have 1,000 pictures of the same animal, so you could set this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however long you want before the camera will trigger again. Sensor level, you've got the option of high, low, or normal. I suggest keeping it on the normal level, just because the higher sensitivity, you'll get a lot of pictures of blowing leaves. The lower sensitivity, you may have a slower trigger on some of the things that you want to get pictures of. So the normal sensors always worked well for myself. Timestamp, I always put this on just so I can see what time of day things are coming through. If you want it off, you just click the over button and push OK to select that setting. And then the timer switch, I've left that off. And the default setting, if you want to put everything back to the factory originals, you can go and save it on the default and everything will be back to the way it came. But most people do like to customize their settings a little bit. And then we get back and we circle back to the first thing we did, which was the video versus camera setting. So we've circled through the whole menu and just click OK, and we're back to the main menu. So now that we've got our camera set up with our specific settings that we want it, you can see here's the on-off switch. When we were setting it up, I had it on the on switch so the remote would power up, but after we were done, I turned it off. And basically the camera has all these settings saved and is ready to go. So whenever you want to go and activate your camera and put it on, all you got to do is set this into the on position and close the door. Now, as you see, this is a blinking light that will blink for 20 seconds, and then it will trigger as soon as it'll be armed, and it will trigger as soon as somebody or some animal or whatever walks by your camera, and you will take your first video or picture. Okay, now that we've got the settings all configured to our liking, I've taken the viewer off and turned it to the off position, but basically all you need to do now, all those settings are saved in the camera. You just go and turn the camera on, close the lid. You will see this blink for about 20 seconds and then the camera will be armed. I'm just going to turn that off because I don't want any random pictures of the ceiling. So basically after that light is done blinking for 20 seconds, the camera is armed, and then at that point anything that walks by will trigger the camera and you'll get your video or your picture captured on the camera. The other thing I wanted to point out as well, there's two ways to check the pictures or video on your camera. Either you can just take your SD card out, check it in your phone or at home on the computer. The other option, which you might want to do, is you just basically take your controller, you plug it back into your spot that you had plugged it into when you went to do the setup, and you'll be able to scroll through the pictures or video with the remote. It's pretty intuitive when you do that. I would show it to you, but you can't actually test that function without having some pictures on your SD card itself. But very straightforward and handy little feature. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helped with your settings and setting up your own ScoutGuard SG550. If you got value out of this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next video.